Hello again, Pastor Deborah here, and this is another episode of Volume 2 of The Multitude. This is going to be episode 17, or part 17. In part 16, we left off about nations and the power of lust and what could happen to a nation, and that's where we're going to pick up in this one. So enjoy. The spiritual connection, the alliance to a spiritual heavenly kingdom and its king, has been lost and forgotten, hidden in the mist and the darkness and the spells of lust. Spiritually forget who they are when a nation is under the spell of lust and what their purposes are. A nation will go around in circles. Someone will say the nation is lost, going in the wrong direction, on the wrong path. Others will say the nation's not lost. There'll be lots of anger. Some will say, we need hope and change. We need a fundamental transformation of the nation. Yes, we can do that. Move forward. Others will say, no, let's go back to the foundations. Let's go back to the founding fathers. Let's go back to the beginning. Others will say, which way is east? We've lost the sun and the stars. We can't find our way. One will say that we have to find the sun, the light, the truth, our direction, our guide. Others will be complaining, murmuring, fighting against themselves and among themselves. But one will say, we will have to go up to the tops of the trees to see which direction to go in. Always one must go up out of the darkness and out of the dirt to find direction. One will make the journey for the entire nation. Yet the nation is always being watched. To find the way for a nation spiritually, someone must climb up above the nation's illusions to find the way for the nation to go. A nation must have a clear vision. Light and truth must shine on its face in the very spiritual hearts and minds and souls of all the people in the nation. The fresh, pure wind of truth and life must blow across the face of a nation that's under spells of illusions, where evil looks good and good looks evil. The fresh winds of truth and light will push out, will cast out all the spiritual illusions and deceptions, confusions, lies and error, and the blindness of sight, so the nation can be restored, refreshed, renewed, strengthened, and put back on the right path of righteousness and truth. At the top, above the lost nation, above and breathing the fresh, pure, clean air and spirit in the light of the sun, one can see the beauty in the high places, the colors, the river of life, the direction the nation needs to go in. The hope of purpose of a nation's destiny is revived. Once a nation gets its spiritual bearing, one can see life again and can see the hidden enemies of a nation and its destiny and purposes moving in the foundation. Yet, while one who has climbed above the illusions, the deceptions, the lies, the confusion of the diseased, foul woods, the others of the nation are still down below, living in the effects of the illusion, the lies and the deceptions, and become prey for the giant spiders, one of the many spiritual enemies of a nation's purposes, goals, and identity. The nation becomes spiritually ensnared, trapped, bound up, and unable to free itself by the hidden enemies of the illusions, the lies and deceptions, the confusion. A nation and its purposes, its destiny is imprisoned. It's unable to move, to free itself, to continue on its national journey. Its purposes are stopped. Destiny is destroyed. But hope can remain in the least likely one with a humble yet courageous in heart and mind and soul, and one who is not seeking power, one that can help those who have lost their way, a nation who has been ensnared, bound up, tied up by hidden evil creatures that have the ability to bind up the entire nation, trap and forbid it to be free. Only one who is not ensnared, bound, or trapped in the hidden enemy's illusions, their deceptions and lies and confusion, who has been free, renewed, and refreshed by the air, by the spirit of pureness, the fresh, pure air of freedom, can set the nation, the captives, free. To set a nation of captives free, a heart and mind and soul must be calm, have clear thoughts, have been refreshed, renewed themselves before they can set the captive nation free. The one who is freed is going to set a captive nation free. They must have supernatural ability, invisibility, strong faith, a power unknown to others that is hidden from the enemy. A righteous anger must arise in the heart and mind of the one who will set the nation free and bring its healing and to renew its purposes. The hidden evil can be distracted by the one as a nation fights for its freedom. Courage must arise and overcome the fear of being a captive. All will have to fight when the hidden enemy retaliates against the nation for even trying or wanting to be free and getting free of its traps and snares and its spider webs. Some in the nation will need a little help during the fight for its freedom from its fellow companions. All must be fearless and deadly against the hidden evil creatures which desire to re-ensnare the nation and stop its purpose and destiny. With this loss of prey and captives and slaves, the evil master, the hidden enemy to a nation's freedom, will launch his fierce and deadly revenge and its attack. This hidden, unseen enemy is one of ancient times, an enemy of the ancient world, and an enemy of the first age. The hidden, ancient, unseen enemy will grow bolder and bolder. A nation can be blind, and in its blindness, this ancient enemy will work his will, his purposes, his goals for the nation and its people. For this unseen ancient enemy has summoned all of his hidden evil servants, his legions of lies and deceptions, his spells of illusion and confusion. And this unseen enemy dances and rejoices over its victory of entrapping and ensnaring an entire nation and stopping it from reaching its destiny and goals for itself and for the world at large. This ancient, hidden, unseen enemy, this ancient, unseen enemy's heart and mind is set on his goal, his purposes for an entire nation. And his nature is one of enslavement and bondage of all through spells of illusions, lies, deceptions, confusion, and enforced by his very own enforcer. Please listen to a king's knowledge and understanding of this evil. The wood elf, the elf king, King Thranduil, from the movie The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug. Out in the vast ignorance of the nation, the world, the evil festers and spreads. A spiritual shadow that grows in the spiritual dark. A spiritually sleepless malice as black as the oncoming wall of night. So it ever was, so it, the evil, always will be. In time, all foul things come forth. When a nation has embraced, been penetrated by a weapon of evil, the evil's poison is injected into the lifeblood of a nation, and the nation will be poisoned from its poison, and the nation will choke on it, and eventually have tainted blood, no longer pure in its purposes, alive with righteousness, flowing freely and giving life to all parts of itself and nourishing all of its parts. This evil likes killing living things that are good. This evil likes death to all that are not a part of its life and purposes. This evil will say to a nation, your world will burn. Our time has come again. My master serves no one. Death is upon you. The flames of war are upon the nation. The Hobbit, the desolation of Smaug movie, the captured orc speaking to the wood elf, King Thranduil. Evil can smell its prey, a nation and its fear and doubt and unbelief. With every victory in a nation, the unseen, hidden evil enemy grows and gets more powerful. Does a nation hide within its walls and live its life away from the light and truth and freedom, and let darkness and ignorance and evil descend upon it? When does a nation allow and let evil become stronger than light and truth and freedom? Can an entire nation have a spell of concealment lying on it, over it, so it does not, nor can it not detect or see or know that the hidden evil enemy is upon it, so that the evil, the unseen enemy, would or could not be revealed? Can an entire nation break the spell of concealment itself? Is there a wise deliverer, a guardian, a shepherd, with supernatural knowledge and wisdom, with powers that can speak and declare with a stroke of a power, break the power, the life spell of the concealment off of a nation? What words can be spoken to force the hand of the nation's evil master to reveal itself? Listen to the powerful words spoken by Gandalf the Grey Wizard at the old fortress called Dol Guldur, which had a spell of concealment laying upon it, to uncover the hidden evil enemy that was there. Listen to Gandalf. The evil that is hidden here over the nation, in the nation, I command it, come forth. I command it, come forth. I command it, reveal itself. Out went power and light from Gandalf, the Hobbit, the desolation of Smaug, the movie. Gandalf the Grey Wizard, in declaring the lifting, the breaking of the concealment spell at the old fortress of Dol Guldur. And what was the spell of concealment hiding? An evil surrounded by a great cloud of darkness. An evil that has a plan for the whole world. An evil with a mind and a voice and a form. An evil who is everywhere, for we are legions. An evil with a covering of great darkness that is powerful, moving and pushing hard against all light and truth and freedom of everyone. An evil that believes there is no light, no truth that can defeat it. An evil unseen, hidden behind a veil, a covering, a cloud of darkness that is attacking, destructive. An evil that has sounds and has a voice, is oppressive, desires to control all, be master of the world. Thick smoke covering a heart and mind and soul of pure evil and hate. The master who serves no one. From the movie The Hobbit, the desolation of Smaug. Gandalf in his battle against Sauron in the old fortress Dol Guldur. Can an entire nation, world be under a powerful spell of concealment? Can an individual spiritual heart and mind and soul have its spiritual eyes of perception and understanding and its ears of spiritual hearing be spiritually under a spell of concealment? Can lust be a spiritual master? Can the spell of concealment hide the evil master of lust in its flames and fire? Is lust a spiritual fire hidden by deception, ignorance, lies, confusion, desires, in the darkness? Is lust covering a spiritual man's spiritual heart with the air and the spirit of illusion? Can a spiritual man's spiritual heart and mind and its soul be under the evil illusions of a darkened system of control? Can a spiritual man's heart and mind and its soul be held spiritually captive, bound by an unseen enemy? Could this be true? How could it be true? When did this happen? Surely this is not true. But what if it is true? Then what? What if a spell of concealment exists over the spiritual hearts and minds and souls of people? Could a spell of concealment also be over entire nations of people, maybe even in the whole world? Why, Pastor Deborah? How could that be if it is true? Could lust be called by another name? What name? Maybe a disease called violence. Maybe a disease called addiction. A bad habit. A family tradition. My culture. Just what we do. My community. My rights. Quality. Social justice. Politics. Just the name, the nature of the government. The Democrats. The Republicans. The Labor Party. Conservative Party. The global world order, public service, ambition. Could these just be other names of the evil called lust, of Satan's nature, of his heart and mind and soul? Keep reading and spiritually listening and receiving the fresh air, the spirit of truth and light into the dark areas of your spiritual heart, mind, and soul. Breathe the fresh, pure air, the spirit of freedom, and let its light, its truth, shine into your life. Now, let's go back to Romans 1:25 through 32. Verse 27. We're continuing on. And likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burned or on fire with, passionate in their lust, their desires, one towards another, men with men, working and doing, behaving that which is unseemly. Unseemly is defined by Webster's dictionary as one not accordingly with established standards of good form or taste. 2. Not suitable for time or taste. 3. Inappropriate. 4. Unseasonable. Verse 27. And thus receiving in themselves that recompense, that reward, that payment, that consequence of their error, which was meet, appropriate, necessary, lawful, legal, righteous. Verse 28. And even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, God gave them over to a reprobate mind. The word reprobate is defined by Webster's dictionary as one, an unworthy, unacceptable, or evil mind. 2. Ordained to damnation. 3. A mind of rejection. 4. Rejected as worthless. 5. Condemned. 6. Morally corrupt. 7. Prey. Verse 28. To do those things which are not convenient. Convenient is defined by Webster's dictionary as 1. Suitable and proper. 2. Suited to personal comfort. 3. Having no advantage. 4. Not suitable for fulfilling a requirement. 5. Not free from discomfort. Romans 1:25 through 32. Verse 29. These people, those with a reprobate, unsuitable, improper, not free from discomfort, not suitable for fulfilling a necessary requirement. These then are filled with all unrighteousness, sin, wickedness, unjustness, intolerance, not right, filled with fornication, sexual acts and behaviors outside of the marriage covenant between one man and one woman, with wickedness, morally very bad, evil, fierce, vicious, marked by mischief, disgustingly unpleasant, vile, causes harm, distress or trouble, very extreme, covetousness, inordinate desire and lust for wealth or possessions, or for another's possession, a craving for possessions, greedy, strong desires for others' things, lack of restraint in one's desire, one's lust, selfishness, unfair and ruthless, stinginess, maliciousness, desires to cause pain, injury, or distress to another, intent to commit an unlawful act, or cause harm without legal justification or excuse, ill will, spite, malignity, grudge, a deep-seated, often unexplainable desire, or a lust to see another suffer, a bitter, persistent hatred that is likely to be in conduct, a feeling of apathy of limited duration, petty feelings of envy and resentment, expressed in small harassment, deep passion and relentlessness, consumed by spite, harbored feelings of resentment or ill will that seeks satisfaction, full of envy. Keep listening. Got a lot more to listen to. What gets filled up in one's heart and mind. Painful or resentful awareness of an advantage enjoyed by another, joined with a desire to possess the same advantage. Begrudge another, murderer, unlawfully killing a person with malice forethought, to slaughter, slaying, debate, to contend in words, dispute by word, question, verbal opposition, argumentative, turn over in one's mind, deception, to deceive, trick, not honest, ensnare, trap by lies, lying, false, cheat, delude, to lead astray, frustrate, false ideas or beliefs, causing ignorance, bewilderment, helplessness, obscure the truth, use of charms and spells, malignity, evil in nature or injurious, tending to produce death, tending to infiltrate, terminally fatal, whisperer, rumor monger, a hint or a trace, backbiter, Romans 1:30, to say mean or spiteful things, malicious words about someone not present, haters of God, intense hostility and aversion from fear and anger or sense of injury, extreme dislike or antipathy, loathing, to feel extreme enmity, hatred towards God, to find very distasteful, active hostility, you detest and abhor God, emotional aversions, violent antipathy, deep repugnance, utter disgust, intolerance, despiteful, expressing malice or hate, treat with contempt, to provoke to anger, to look down upon, proud, feeling or showing pride, excessive self-esteem, giving reasons for pride, raised above others, arrogant, claiming, haughty, superior, lordly, overbearing, insolent. I don't want to overwhelm you so much on this one with all these different things that fill the spiritual heart and mind of those who end up without the light of truth and their heart is dark. I will continue this list on episode 18, but for now, just take your time, take deep breaths. This is really a lot of stuff for you to take in and understand about humanity and why we see the problems we see and why we see people doing to other people what they do. Love always and forever, Pastor Deborah. See you on episode 18.